Hi everyone, it's Lesley from Hungry Heffy Crafts. I'm back and I am sharing today with you guys a card which you may recognize. There's been some sneak peeks also featured on our Heffy Doodle Kickstarter page, and it is a fun shaker card on the front, but on the inside there is this cute elephant that wobbles, and it's using the Heffy Doodle Elephant of Surprise stamps and dies. So if you're not familiar with this, we have launched Heffy Doodle and we are taking pre-orders on our Kickstarter page. We'll put all the information down into the details section below. I'm sure you're aware by now if you've been listening to me for a while. So I'm going to stamp lots of images for this card. So I'm working with my Misty, which makes it really super easy to get them all done. And then I wanted to have a bit of a different background. So I'm using this striped background stamp. This is from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm using a fog coloured ink, which is a really light, subtle grey. And I just love the way it looks. I think it's so subtle and beautiful. I'm going to cut out a panel using my large stitched rectangle die from Lawn Fawn, my good old faithful. And then to build my shaker, I'm going to use some craft foam, but add some Stick It adhesive onto both sides so that I have essentially a bit like double-sided sticky tape, but instead of tape, it's foam. And that will allow me to build up some foam layers using my dies. And I'm going to use my circle dies today. And first I'm going to cut out a background using some pattern paper. That'll be the background for my shaker element. And I have this really sweet jelly bean soup yellow paper. And I'm going to also layer some vellum on top of it just to mute it down a little bit. And cut out also a piece of acetate for the front of my shaker. And then I'm going to use washi tape to stick together another one of those circle dies. So I can cut out a frame using some darker yellow cardstock. And I'll also use that same double whammy of my two dies that are stuck together and run that through with my craft foam, which has the adhesive on both sides. I'm going to use some wet glue to adhere my acetate to the frame and then layer up both of my rings of foam. And then I'm going to stamp onto this vellum. I'm using some of the mixtures of greetings that are in this Elephant of Surprise Heffy Doodle stamp set. And inside the shaker it will say, "Sorry I forgot that it was your birthday, but now you get the..." And then on the inside of the card we'll finish off that greeting. So this is going to go here, but I need my little critters to complete my scene on the front. So I have two elephants, one with his arms down and one with his arms up, and I want it to look like it's the same elephant just in a different pose. So I'm colouring them with exactly the same colours, and I'm leaving it fairly muted. I'm using my warm grey tones here, W1, W0, and a little bit of R00 for his cheeks because he's embarrassed. And then we've got a cake. We've got a little bag for the peanuts, and we've got a couple of peanut images, and also these water droplets, which will actually be used a bit like tears or like splashes of sweat or something, like he's under pressure. I want to keep with my yellow and blue colours. So for the pole for my flag, I'm colouring that blue, and also the stand for the cake will be blue as well. To bring some more blue into my actual shaker, I'm going to use blue embossing powder to emboss the greeting. So there is a stamp that says "Go Nuts," but I masked off the word "go," so it just says "nuts." So now my greeting says "nuts." Sorry, I forgot it was your birthday, but now you get the... And on the inside, like I say, we'll have Elephant of Surprise. So let's stick this all together and we'll add some sequins. And these sequins are from Lucy's cards, or Lucy's Little Things, I think she calls them. I love her mixes. I think they're amazing. They work so well together. I'm a big fan. So I stick that down and I'll put some foam behind this guy's feet and then just some normal adhesive above his head so that he is stuck onto the bottom of that shaker element. And I'll add these other images around about him as well. And on the bag, I've stamped the little tiny greeting that says nuts so that it looks like a bag of nuts. This circle was actually the inside of the frame that I cut. So I'm going to actually use that and add the word boo to the flag because he's the elephant of surprise. Tuck that in here. And then my cake will go on here too, but for my elephant, I want him almost to be like a wobbler, and I don't have any actual wobblers, so I'm going to make it up. I'm using 2 thin strips of acetate, and I'll take a little square of double-sided sticky tape on the end of one of them. And then I'll stick one on top of the other, but at a right angle, if that makes sense. So just line up the edges so that it's at a right angle. And then I'm just folding one over the other back and forth, and it almost creates like a spring effect. Once you've done it a few times, you can see what kind of height it's going to get. And when you press down on it, it actually does like a spring. It's really fun. And I'm going to trim off the edges here, and you just need a little, either a glue dot or another little square of sticky tape to adhere the 2 pieces of acetate together again, and you can use that as a makeshift wobbler. I'm adding my greeting on the inside once again with that blue embossing powder, and that embossing powder is actually from Cosmic Shimmer, and it has this beautiful pearlescent effect on it, and it looks absolutely adorable. Just going to put on these little tears or little sweat marks here as well to finish that off. And I'm grabbing my Interactively Yours Heffy Doodle stamp set. And there's a stamp in here that says Shake Me. So using that same fog ink, I'm going to stamp that just up here in one of those white columns. So it's really subtle, but you can see that it is a shaker card. And look at this little guy go, isn't he fun? So let's take a closer look at some of these images. Here's what the Shake Me looks like. And here you can see the little nuts image that's been stamped on top of that bag. If you're interested in Heffy Doodle, please do come on over to our Kickstarter page. The details are in the information section below. And the Kickstarter will be taking pre-orders until the 31st of July. Thank you so much for watching this video. Here's some more videos that you may like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to make sure that you don't miss any of my other videos as soon as they're released. You can also leave me a like and a comment down here, and don't forget to follow me on social media @HungryHeffy. I'll see you there. Have a great day and happy crafting. Bye!